Hey, muy buenas noches to everyone. I hope everybody's doing well and as always enjoying family. Again, Tony, gracias for allowing me to get on your platform. Stories written by a current prisoner to share my stories. Now, before I get into the story, I want to start off by thanking everybody for their kind wishes towards me, as well for all those that leave positive comments. Do know that I read through them and I'm aware of every question that has been said or put out. I have written them down and I will address every single one of them in a recording soon. Again, muchas gracias. Now, for the story, I want to tell a little story with, with the Pilis from San Diego and how we were doing things and just to show you how scandalous they can be, and just to enlighten a little more on how loyal they are and how greed is the power that drives them to do any type of action. Well, how I had stated in my last recording that when I got there, uh, Carlos Diaz from Logan Heights was there with me, so we got to conversating real good with each other. And as every one of amongst them, they're aware of everything when it has to do with a camarada. Especially if you could bring something to the table that's gonna benefit them, or they're they they get a notice of before you even touch base where they're at, that we're on their way and we're capable of doing this and that. They keep each other informed in that aspect. So basically, when they told me that they had a they had a lot of people that were willing to sell work, material to put it on the streets, and they had they basically had a lot of people out there on the streets willing to buy and do the food work. That if I knew of any good plugs over here in Mexico, which as I mentioned, I come from a family down in Sinaloa that's basically what they do. But at this time, it just happened that their avenue to get things across had just gotten cracked. So the only problem was but that I was able to get whatever they needed. It would just have to be on this side of the border, or if we wanted to tag team with my family, that we could also help them find the Ubers, and they would get all the cars ready to get across. So it went like that. So in this, it was gonna be Carlos, Wetter Sherm, another Billy from Shelltown that was back there, and and Silent George, Cheeks, and there was a Billy on the streets, David Bañuelos from Chula Vista, and of course, a couple camaradas that were gonna support the Billy on the calles. So everything went accordingly. The Billies, they took care of their end, which was, you know, finding righteous, females, finding females that didn't have nothing on the record, that they look basically, that they weren't with any type of business like that. And basically, how it would go down is either they came down with the family, and said they were coming out to look at a car, and they were going to bring back to see if it passed the smoke test. And at the time they bring back, they were going to get that across. Or on a Friday, just saying they're from Diego, and they were going to go across and party. And then, once they came back, and get it across like that. Which, I could sincerely say, the first two, three trips went went perfect. It was they were going and they fixed up the ramflas. They got them across. They did their thing on this side, and everybody was happy. The pilis were getting prices. They were getting good material, which was some soda and some good chapopote. So everything was going real good. But all of a sudden, as they were going across, it started it started being a headache in the sense that, for one, Sherm had a hand in everywhere. Streets, state, state jail. I mean, county jail, state prisons. Towns. Is like he actually needed a big supply. And he had it. He had the backing of it economically. So that was one that you couldn't have. For example, one Uber or one girl go across and two, three times a week because it was gonna, throw a red flag up and they were gonna get cracked. So they basically addressed the camaradas and the pillions on the streets that to go ahead and pick up some more hyenas that they could be trusted. So they did, and a bigger load started coming through. But here's the kicker, that all of a sudden the hyenas started disappearing. You know, and the reason I know this, because like I said, I plugged in Silent George with my city, so I was in the loop per se. Because to be sincere, I was plugging in my family and the Pilis. I wasn't winning nothing out of this. So basically, this went on, and Silent George started telling me, like, hey, what's going on? The cars are appearing where they're supposed to, but this hyenas disappeared before you could pay them. Now, mind you, that a lot of girls that were going out there to do this, excuse me, used to go out there for need. They were single mothers, and you know they had the needs to bring some money, some funds for their family. So they would go out there, and it was an easy 3,500. Just don't get nervous. All you're gonna do is get there, jump in the whip, take it across, take it here. You know, have them pull that out, man, and just take it back across, saying it didn't pass the smoke test, and just go on about your thing. But for some reason, at first it was like, hey, what's up with these Ubers? They went MIA. So at first I panicked because I thought that they had split with the cars and work and everything. Then later on it came to be that, nah, the cars were being left where they were supposed to, but this hyenas, they didn't stick around. They never heard from a few of them. So they could. At first, I didn't think nothing of it. Then after a few times this happened, I was like, nah, hell no. It just makes no sense. These hyenas are doing it because they need the funds, and it makes no sense for them to pull the work and split like that. So they started keeping tabs on things. They started putting somebody that was trustworthy to go on these trips with these hyenas, at least from a distance. you know and as long as that camarada and his family were following or tracking these hyenas, everything went smooth. The problem might rise when they seem to take the focus, or take the eyes off of them, and they went MIA. It happened like like a drop of water every time, beam, beam, beam. It always happened when. So by this time, one of the things that Wittersherm had, man, he had one of those minds that by the time that you think about two, three different scenarios, the Billy had already gone through 100 of them from different angles. He was just one of those individuals that had that vision, for things. So he had told Carlos, I know it's someone in the loop, because we can't keep coming up with Hainas and at the end of the day going MIA when we could be using the same Hainas at least once a month. And plus, word starts getting around, that people were going MIA. So, somehow, my family on that side found out and they wanted to know what was happening. For one, it just cars were getting stuck on this side of the border because it was hard to have, for example, a homie drive it across the border again when so and so went out there and picked it up. So it started becoming a big issue. And as much as I tried staying out of it, to be sincere, I was stuck back there in the hole in the shoe. So, it caught my curiosity or my wanting to know what was going on. So I went, I kept, you know, basically asking, or somehow, some way in the conversation, finesse that curiosity in there so that I was being told. So this is what I want everybody to really pay attention to, especially for those that actually think that if you do a solid for these people, they're gonna stay solid to you. I want you to see how much a person's life is worth. When things came to be, the problem was the Pili from Chula Vista. And not only that Pili, but also Cheeks and the two camaradas they had with them. You know, at one shot they were doing two, three of them. So when they got the cars across, they were basically taking them out for a drive and putting one into the head. You know, here's the thing that at the moment really got me mad, right? That I didn't understand how they were willing to go that length with somebody that just did them this favor and that could have still done this favor for them just for a lousy $3,500. Because that's how much they were charging to get the car across. And they weren't going to get paid till after they delivered the car. So, they were getting literally a whole car across for them, once a week, maybe twice a week. But just please wrap your head around that, man. It was easier for this man, or, as I always said, the gatos, money hungry. Sorry, I was about to cuss. Money hungry gente, that a lot of people call legends. You know, my respects to the title, but man, there's a lot of dirty cats like this. Cause I'm gonna tell you something. When they found out, yeah, Güero and Silent, Carlos, and a couple other Pilis from SD, right away they moved on this. But not everybody that was supposed to get the backlash from this got it. For example, yeah, the Pili from Chula Vista, he picked up and took off. The two camaradas, I believe one of them, he got hit in county and the other one disappeared as well. But, you know, David from Chula Vista wasn't the only Pili involved. Cheeks was right there with him. But since he was sitting in Pelican Bay at this time, nothing ricocheted towards him. Nothing happened. It was like if he had no part in this. So here's my question to everyone that's listening. How much do you think this gente shows respect or care to those that do things for them? That try to keep loyal to them. Because there was a lot of them. They were their own homegirls that grew up in their neighborhoods. So how could they just be looked away like that? And this goes out again, and I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record. It goes out for those that are out there on the streets thinking that you're gonna find what you have out there on the streets within this movement, within this Pilis or even some camaradas like I just spoke. There is camaradas that for more as long as they know they're doing wrong. For example, me, I was one of the stupid ones. They still go ahead and do it. And if they don't show loyalty to people that are bringing things to them, that are keeping it solid, what makes you, guys on the streets thinking that when you hit the state, they're going to stay loyal to you just because you're under the flag? It don't work like that. You know, I seen recently, how they get at camaradas, how they address them, how, you know, and I'm sorry to say this, and, and I ain't trying to throw everybody on the bus. I include myself, you know, we're straight being punked. We're being punked by them, It's basically do what they say or pay them what they want, or you're gonna follow the actions they want you to do, even when it carries to your loved ones, to your family, or you know, I think it's really important for camaradas to open their eyes. It's sad to see how we pride ourselves to be this soldado, the sureño that earns our stripes by being, you know, smart, by being someone that goes out there and puts in work, when we have another grown ass man telling us how to do things, when to do them, and basically punking us. You know, it's real sad what the cosas came to be. I could sincerely say when I first hit the system and I started hitting the shoes, when I was coming around them pilis and they were sitting back there in the shoe, they weren't doing this. They weren't acting like this. You had your occasion, one or two here and there, but not everyone like you're seeing nowadays. Now they're walking the yards and they basically feel they're untouchable. When in reality all it takes is, a quick removal and that's it. What are they gonna do? For one, most of them are old. For two, man, I ain't gonna speak bad about every single one. Like I stated, it's not every single one, but most of them are punks, man. Yes, a lot of them are with the business, they're straight killers, but most of them that are up there have never earned the right to be up there. They got out, they got that high, basically, lambiendo huevos, to be sincere. But this is a perfect example how everybody's throwaway. Everyone is this. It's trash, man. To them, camaradas or those that are loyal to them have no type of sympathy for them. You know, it's like when Weather Sherm after this, he started requesting, hey, let's plug it back up. And to be sincere, I wasn't with it no more. In that aspect, that I knew I wasn't fighting these people, and that at the end of my family, there was nothing wrong being done. But it's when I started basically, nitpicking where I wanted to be involved at. And I decided I wasn't going to be involved in them using people like that, because one girl did get busted, and I guess she was requesting for the help of Wettersham. And basically, through through one of Wettersham's secretaries on the streets, basically all she asked was, "Hey, I'm over here, but please tell the señor that I ain't saying nothing, that I don't want him to think anything negative about me." And I struck up that I'm a pill that went out. I literally put the ink and paper together for this I'm a pill to go out. And this were word for word Wettersham's words towards this hyena that had just gotten caught and had ruined her, basically her life. Once the state or the feds mark you, you're done. His exact words were, "Tell this bitch, excuse my language, to keep my name out her mouth. Period. I don't know her." It was that simple. So please, those that are out there, stay loyal to those that show you love and that are loyal to you. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you who it is. Everybody knows who's true to them. Everybody has that common sense. The one thing I guarantee is family don't fail, they don't let you down. But anyways, mi gente, I just thought I'd share this quick story. I thought it would it would shed some light again on how greedy these people are. This man on the street, this Billy, he had everything going for himself. You know, one hyena crossed the whole car over that was packed with things. Why not pay $3,500? It was easier for them to take them on a ride and their kids and their families. You know, they preyed on those type of hyenas that they had baggage on this side of the border so they wouldn't take off. Kids, husband, a house that were in need. So, just mi gente, be smart. Don't get yourself in something that there is so much negative out there about. Don't take my word. You know, the whole time I was down, I'm gonna be sincere with you. Whenever I ran across a good camarada with a sharp head, these were my exact words towards him, to the only good advice I had to give him. And it wasn't to go against the program, it wasn't to contradict what we were doing, but I always believe in making a camarada, not breaking him, right? And I seen how politics work, how scandalous things were. So when I seen a righteous camarada that I was close to, I always told him, look, you want to make it in this? I want to tell you straight up, when you go into something, keep one eye open and keep both ears wide open, and don't trust nobody. Show everybody your respect. Sí, mis respetos, aquí estoy, en que puedo asistir, en que puedo apoyar, but don't trust nobody. Trust this person as much as you can pick them up and throw them. And I used to tell him, and I'm telling you this with these other words, don't even trust me. Be your own man and be your own judge of people. I knew a lot of people might think it's a wrong thing to say, but in my heart, I felt it was the best advice to give a young camarada starting their sentence. To be smart, to really analyze the situation before you get into it. But I'm so sorry, I got out of the out of topic. I just You guys have made me feel real comfortable amongst you. And again, I thank you so much. I'm sorry I lose my track of what I'm saying. Please leave the comments. I want to know that if I'm actually and a am I am I doing what I'm setting myself to do, which is spread the right message out. Try to expand those young guys on the streets' mind. I'm not trying for them to go, you know, follow my steps or follow my bias. All I want is for that message to log on to somebody's head, so a situation present themselves, they're able to think it through or really, you know, analyze it from every angle before they decide. Well, mi gente, I won't take much of your time. Again, muchas gracias for everyone's words you had left in the comments, and I will surely get on here and start answering everyone's questions. As I always end every video, stay loyal to yourself and always treasure, value your loved ones, your family, even your close friends. Muchas gracias, gente, again. Que descansen. Buenas noches.